For number 1, we're multiplying a monomial times a binomial times a binomial. So if you're multiplying all 3 of these together, it doesn't matter which pair you start with. So if I start with the monomial times the binomial, this monomial times this binomial, I am just applying distributive property. So 3x times x to the 4th is 3x to the 5th. Again, if they have the same base x, you add the exponents, so 1 plus 4 gives you 5. And then 3x times negative 5x squared is negative 15x to the 3rd. So that's what I get when I multiply those together. I still have to take this binomial and multiply it by x minus 4. So now I have a 2 by 2, so I should have 4 terms when I multiply this out before I combine, if I can combine any terms. So starting with the 3x to the 5th, distributing that to both terms in the second parenthesis, 3x to the 5th times x to the 1st power is 3x to the 6th. Remember, add the exponents. And then 3x to the 5th times negative 4 is negative 12x to the 5th. So now I distribute the negative 15x to the 3rd to both terms. Negative 15x to the 3rd times x to the 1st is negative 15x to the 4th. And negative 15x to the 3rd times negative 4 is positive 60x to the 3rd. If I look at my list of 4 terms, I notice that all 4 terms have different exponents, so I cannot combine them. And I also notice that they are already arranged from highest to lowest exponent, so this is in standard form. So this is complete. For this next example, I have a 3 by 3, 3 terms times 3 terms, a trinomial times a trinomial. So if you multiply this out using distributive property, you should have 9 terms before you start combining like terms. So let's start with the 2x squared and distribute that to all 3 terms in the second parenthesis. 2x squared times 5x squared would be 10x to the 4th. 2x squared times negative x is negative 2x to the 3rd. And 2x squared times 5 would be 10x squared. Next, I'm going to distribute, so we're done with this. Next, I'm going to distribute the 3x to all 3 terms. So 3x times 5x squared would be 15x to the 3rd. 3x times negative x is negative 3x squared. And 3x times 5 is 15x. So there's 6 terms. We said we would have 9 terms, so I'm done with the 3x. Lastly, I'm distributing the negative 1 to all 3 terms. So negative 1 times 5x squared is negative 5x squared. Negative 1 times negative x is positive 1x. And negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. All right, there's my 9 terms. So starting to combine, x to the 4th, I don't see any other x to the 4ths, so I'm looking for x to the 3rd. So I can combine negative 2x to the 3rd plus 15x to the 3rd. So actually I'm going to start writing my answer here. So I know 10x to the 4th is my first term because it's the highest degree. So negative 2x to the 3rd plus 15x to the 3rd would be 13x to the 3rd. So looking for x squared, I have positive 10 minus 3. So 10 minus 3 would be 7. And then 7 minus 5 would be 2. So to this list, I'm adding 2x squared to that. Next, I can see I have x to the 1st to combine here. So 15x's plus 1 more would give me 16x. And then the constant, that negative 5 goes at the very back.